Welcome everyone to another Wednesday night, the fundamentals to gain inner peace with your host, Coach Menachem. And here we are. A few days before Pesach. A little bit more than a week. And it's nice that you took some time off for yourself to be here just a few minutes so that you can go back to work. I'm sure everybody has a lot happening, things have to get done, planning. But to take off a few minutes is very important. So here we are. Okay, so before we start, let's just get into the room. Let's get grounded, become aware, slow down a little bit, take a deep breath. And another one, just being aware. Where am I? Where am I coming from? What do I feel? Do a short stretch, whatever works for you. Just your hands in and out, your shoulders. Just get your ear as close as possible to your shoulder, not too much, and then go back to the center. And then the other side, just be aware of how that feels. Some tension. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't. Just become aware. And take another deep breath and let it all out. And we can roll our shoulders, just do it slowly. Feel every move in and out. Imagine somebody giving you a massage. Ah. If you've had one, you can go back there if you remember what it feels like. If you never had one, go get one. Everyone needs one. Just to be aware of how that feels. Okay. And to see where am I, what's going on, where am I coming from, how did I get here? And then turn inwards to see, a little bit of short body scan. What do I feel from head to toe? Just to become aware. We're not going to change anything. Awareness is key. That's mindfulness, just to be mindful. Stop for a moment and say, what am I feeling? You can feel the stress or maybe you're relaxed, just to see what your head feels like. Your eyes might feel tired. Your jaws, your shoulders, your arm, your stomach. And then your legs and your toes, just to feel anything that comes up, whatever comes up, just be aware of it. And that's it. So taking some time off to breathe, to relax, to slow down, to be mindful with yourself, to be aware of what's going on, and to prep a little bit emotionally. We're all prepping for Yom Tov, whatever it is, but stopping for a moment and seeing where am I? What are my worries, my fears, or things that I'm looking forward? All of that is to prep, get yourself ready emotionally for the next few days. Just see what it is, where am I? And you can ask yourself, what is it that I need? What do I need? What self-care do I practice? What would I love to practice? I didn't start yet, but if I could, that would be great. So you can go ahead and share in the chat. Just let me know one or two things that you do for self-care, or the things that you would need, just small things. Again, you might think you want to have like a week vacation, but that's not what we're looking for now. We're coming up with small ideas, small things that can help. Maybe a walk in nature, uh, hot coffee, tea, being mindful, drinking that coffee, tea, that helps. It could be maybe some cleaning help. Some people would love to have, or if you do, that's self-care, or you might think it's a necessity. Could be. Take care of your physical health, your mental health. What do you need? Sleep. Make sure you're sleeping enough. I know it might be hard, but you want to get your hours because you want to have a productive day. Eat healthy. Beautiful. People are actually doing the work. That's amazing. Mindful walking, doing exercise, getting some cleaning help, sitting in the sun. Beautiful. Finding the people to be around. Oh, yeah, that's important. Supportive people that you feel good to be around with. It could be a challenge for many. Not everybody has it, but just to be aware. Amazing. So you're talking about the next few days. For example, a Seder. Talking about a Seder, a Pesach Seder. For many people, it's something they look forward to. They love it. It's something that they sit together with family. And it's really nice for many hours sitting together and enjoying company and preparation. And it's very exciting for many. And then there are others that the Seder could be triggering a lot of triggers. Just to be aware of where you are. You know, in the Shabbos Suda, you might manage for 45 minutes, get it done, and you leave. And now we're sitting for a little bit longer. There's a lot going on, might be guests around. Not that easy. And then there are those who are in between, right? Those who look forward and love it, those who just have a very hard time being there, and then in between. And there's a big range over there. So just to stop for a moment and think, where am I? What's the image that comes up when I think about the Seder? What comes up? Just to feel those feelings, whatever it is. Hosting is sometimes it's hard, you know. You might say when I'm there, it's exciting and it's usually works out, but the preparations to get there sometimes is overwhelming. Okay, so at least you have a good positive image at the end of the day, so that could keep you going. And asking for help is very important, if possible. And another idea is it's usually expectations. You know, when we expect one way and things don't work out that way, that's usually when we feel the tension, feel the stress, those feelings that we don't like. Whatever it is, think for yourself. You know, if it would be up to you, what would I want it to look like? But then you have a spouse, kids, in-laws, guests, or you're going somewhere else. So not much that you can control. And that's where the letting go comes in. And think to yourself, what would it look like if it's not the way I want? Okay. And you take a deep breath. Not always easy, but just to be aware. We try our best. We try our best to do what we could, and the rest we leave up to Hashem. The rest we try to be a little bit flexible and letting go. Just let it go. Just imagine what it looks like if you wouldn't have expectations. I know you have it, and that's okay, but for a moment or two, imagine what does it look like without it to see what it feels. But the truth is just awareness, just to be aware of what do I expect. That itself helps, and that's basically mindful. People think mindfulness helps me relax, and then a lot of people ask me, I tried mindfulness many times, but it doesn't work. My thoughts are still racing, and there's a lot going on. But mindfulness is not to feel relaxed. It is an outcome eventually, but Mindfulness is not to feel relaxed. Mindfulness is to be aware of what you feel, to be in the moment, to be to be there. There's so many things going on, and we're running, and there's you're on your phone and you're busy at work and doing what you have to do, which is amazing. But stop for a moment to say, wait, where am I? Oh, wow, it's been a while. I haven't been in touch for a while. And becoming in touch might bring up, you might be aware of the overwhelm you're in, the stress you're feeling, the insecurities, the doubts. All of that is something that you might not want to be in touch with. And that's why we're running. Mindful is just be mindful. What am I feeling now? And then you take a deep breath and you say, oh, yeah, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't like the way it feels. That's it. So last week we did the stop, STOP, and it doesn't have to take long. Once we know what we're looking for, it's the S is for stop, T is take a deep breath, O is observe, and then P, proceed, go on. So yeah, it does take time, a few minutes to see what it is, but eventually you get used to it. So one more time, the stop that we did last week, we can actually do it now. So the first thing is we stop, and just by showing up to the Zoom, there's a stop. Here I am. You pause for a moment. Just pause. You're in the middle of typing at work, you're in the middle of cooking, you pause. That's it. And then you take a deep breath. The T is take a deep breath. Deep breath. And become conscious of your breath. How long does that take? Just a few seconds. Become conscious. And then you start noticing the feelings that you're feeling. You might be overwhelmed, maybe stress, or maybe calm. Just you just feel like, wow, whatever feeling comes up, that's the O. You observe. Observing could be the thoughts that you have, all the worries, the plans, things are working out, not working out, the emotions, sensations that come up, feelings, whatever you feel in your body. So you stop, become conscious of your breath, take a deep breath, and then you observe, what do I feel? And once you do that, you can take another deep breath, and then you proceed. That's the P. Proceed with intention. What am I doing now? Oh, wow, yeah, I'm almost done. It's amazing. Continue. And, with courage, if you're doing the right thing, keep on going. If you're not, you become aware of it, and then you try to see why not. So it doesn't have to take too long, and to do it a few times a day. No one has to know about it. You close your eyes for a second, you stop, take a deep breath. You can do a body scan just a second. It takes like 3 seconds just to feel your body from head to toe. Where do I feel those feelings? What do I feel? And then we continue with a smile. Just, oh, wow, I'm back. And you go on. You become aware. That's mindfulness. What's important is to have some compassion. And that's something that came up at the end of last week. Some people, they're aware of their thoughts and aware of themselves all day and too much. And sometimes it holds them back from doing the work they have to do because they're worried and they're not sure. And what are people thinking? So they're really aware. But the awareness that we're looking for is to stop and see those thoughts. You might be busy with the thoughts all day, but you just to stop and observe that I'm busy with those thoughts. So that's a different level. But we need compassion, because when we do stop and feel and we see we're overwhelmed and we're not happy or things are not working out and we try to control, it's not working. So you have to have a little compassion. Don't be hard on yourself. Listen, listen to those thoughts that come up and accept. Don't try to change it. You just become aware, a little bit of compassion, and then you go on. So that's important. So that was last week, the stop. And this week, the same idea. It's just 1 minute. 1 minute mindful exercise, pretty much basic. But discussing 1 minute is a nice amount of time. And soon we'll try it out with a timer. Some people say they don't have time, they're too busy. Okay, so talking about 1 minute, you could always find 1 minute. What could 1 minute do? 1 minute, 60 seconds can do a lot. Just those 60 seconds, taking a deep breath, stopping for a minute, can do a lot. And we'll see in a few minutes. We'll put on a timer. But let's do this mindful exercise. Okay. So the first thing is, before we start, if we know what we're looking for, it's much easier. So it does take time till we realize, it's a skill. And first few times, it might take more than a minute. But once you stop, you become aware and you tap into what you're feeling, then eventually it doesn't take long. So give yourself that time. And once you learn the skill, it doesn't take long. So step number one is just the stop that we discussed. It's just being in a comfortable place, put both feet on the ground. If you're sitting, just feel the chair you're sitting on, your feet flat on the floor. And if you're standing, you can feel grounded where you are, you stop walking for a minute. You feel the weight when you're sitting or standing, and you let your two hands just hang, let it down for a minute. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Just helps you come in, take that breath, be there with yourself. Close your eyes for a second, just for a little bit. And you start focusing on your breath. Breathing in and out. Every breath makes a difference. And it's interesting, by even taking one deep breath, you can feel a difference. So imagine what you feel after 4. So you take a deep breath in and out. You become aware of your breathing, shallow breathing. Just become aware of your breath. You observe your breath. And then you observe your thoughts. Automatically, when you stop and you observe your breath, the thoughts are going to come up. You're going to hear it. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it. So just observe those thoughts. Don't try to push them away. And just imagine like you're putting the thoughts on the clouds. There's clouds in the sky. Take that thought that comes up, put it on the clouds, and let it go. Let it continue. Or like the leaves in the pond. It's just leaves going down the whatever it is. Let it go. Put it on the leaf. Just let it go. Another thought comes up. Let it go. Put it on the leaf. You become aware of the thought. Take it and put it on the cloud. Put it on the leaf and let it go. You can use a mantra while you're breathing in and out. You could say, I am, when you're breathing in, and breathing out is at peace. I am at peace. You don't have to say it, it could be in your mind. And that could help just to become relaxed, be in the moment. Another breath in and out. Just 4 or 5 deep breaths. And then just be aware of how you feel. Slowly, just open your eyes. 60 seconds. And you come back and you continue. So just listening to my voice saying this, just be aware of how you feel now. And it's just a few seconds, just a few seconds. So for those who don't have time, 60 seconds. And for those who are asking, what could 60 seconds do? You'll be surprised. So I do want to put on a timer for 60 seconds and see how long that takes. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for a minute. And it's going to be quiet. If you feel uncomfortable, just be aware of that. And the timer can make it a little bit easier. Just a second. Here we go. Okay, so put on the timer and just be aware of what comes up and be aware of how you feel. That's it. So if you can share in the screen and on the chat, just share what came up. Just was it short, long? What came up? Some thoughts, breathing. But I'm amazed of what 60 seconds can do. And for those who came in the middle, sometimes it's awkward. Like, what's going on? Is it working? I can't hear. Yes, for some people it was very short, and for others it was like 10 minutes. Amazing. So you see what 60 seconds could, just 60 seconds, these things come up. Okay. Some people were tired. You become aware of what you feel. Overwhelmed. I guess being in the moment is not easy. A lot of tension. Amazing. So these are the feelings that come up, and that's why it's hard to stop. Just becoming aware. To be mindful doesn't mean that this is going to change. Being mindful is stopping in the middle of the day and feeling, I am feeling overwhelmed. Be with yourself a few times a day. You're really feeling overwhelmed, but you're running away. It's like the inner child that we discussed many times. We don't have time to listen. We don't have time to be there, to feel. We stop for a little bit, these feelings come up. And for others, it was relaxing, taking 60 seconds off and just being. Too scary. Okay. So this is important. Just that's why for beginners, I tell people just sit for 60 seconds without any distractions, and a lot of information will come up. A lot of information will come up. And that's where we know how to start, get the work started. You don't want to do it for 5, 10 minutes. It's going to be too hard. 60 seconds, put on a timer because it's scary. And you want to know the timer is going to ring after a minute. Because if not, you're not going to be able to sit there. So put on the timer and breathe for 60 seconds. And that's about it. So again, do you have 60 seconds in your day? I hope so. Is it hard? Yes, it could be hard. But I'm not asking to sit for 5 or 10 minutes, just 60 seconds. That's just stopping, being mindful. You can do the stop, STOP, or any deep breathing just for, a few breaths in and out. That's it. What's important is don't wait till you're overwhelmed. Do it a few times a day and it becomes easier. It becomes easier. And another idea is you can actually start doing some tasks in your day mindfully. There's idea of mindful eating. When you eat, you're actually aware of what you're eating. You're aware of the texture in your mouth, chewing. You become mindful. So you become more mindful in your day. And always important to remember it is a skill and it takes practice. So if it's hard, it's okay. So that's about it. Just taking some time off. Try to do it 3 or 4 times. Set a timer, and whatever works for you, just to stop for a few seconds, take a deep breath, become aware of where you are. Say hello. Hello to yourself. Hi, where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. And then you become aware. And yes, you might become aware of things you don't like, but just be there with compassion. Compassion, just listen. Okay, so we have a minute or two for questions. I hope to get together in Menachem next week. You know, it's important while everybody's busy doing a lot of things, just to stop for a few minutes to take a deep breath. It's sometimes hard to do it by yourself, so let's do it together. And let me check the questions. So the mantra that we mentioned was I am, what did I say? In peace. I am. When you breathe in, you say I am. And on the way out, I don't even remember what I said. Use a mantra at peace. I am at peace, but you can use whatever works for you. Just something positive. Breathing in, I am, and on the way out, at peace. Now, yeah, you could do it for 2 minutes. Took a while. It started to kick in near the end. Right. So try it for 2 minutes, and it's going to be exciting. A lot of awareness comes up, you know? It's hard to relax many times when you're stressed and you're overwhelmed. And when you stop and breathe, you don't really feel anything. Just continue. And slowly, when it, slows down, that's when things come up. And if you only feel it after the 60 seconds, do it again. If you like it, if it's too hard, you could stop and go on, as long as you became aware. But these are exercises to become aware of what comes up, what you're really feeling. I'm always nervous. I'm worried. I don't even know why. Amazing. Welcome to the club. So, yeah, by being mindful, by stopping, so you do become aware of being nervous and worried. You're probably aware of it even when you're not mindful. So, you're somewhat mindful a lot. But stopping for a moment, and then you become aware of what you're feeling. And the nervousness comes up, the worriness comes up, and you're there and you listen and you feel. Don't try to change it, and don't be hard on yourself. Say, oh wow, I feel you, I hear you. You feel overwhelmed, you feel worried. And if you say you don't know why, that's okay. Just be there and just be aware for a moment, and then go on. Come back after an hour or two, and you see how you feel. And that eventually, it helps. Just becoming aware, it helps to relax. But again, don't, your focus is not to be relaxed. That's, we'll do some deep breathing a different time. You'll spend some, exercise, whatever you do for relaxation, which is amazing. But mindfulness is just to be aware of the moment. Just be there. And if you're stressed and you're not relaxed, you're not calm, that's okay. That means you're aware of what you're feeling. That's step number one. Eventually, you can do some relaxation exercise. And you don't know why, you're saying you don't know why. Yes, it does take time. Somebody mentioned to me we were doing some inner child work, and just talk to yourself, be there for yourself. And he told me, it feels good, and I'm listening, but there's no interaction, There's nothing going on. He's not answering. So that's okay. After so many years not talking to your inner child, not being in touch, just be there, and if it feels good, that means it needs it. Just being there and listening to the thoughts, to the emotions, and saying, I'm here, I am listening. And there's no pushing. There's no pushing. Whatever comes up, comes up. Okay, thank you so much. Everyone, back to work with intention, with compassion, and put the timer for a few times a day to just stop and do this stop, STOP, or whatever mindfulness you want to do. Become mindful of what you're feeling, what's working, what's not. Just take a deep breath and smile. Have a good night, and Hashem should help us all with all the work we're doing, inner work, outer work, getting ready for Pesach. Pesach is a lot of inner work, but most of it is we're cleaning out inner and outer, and Mitzvah Hashem. We should have the strength we need, the Menachas Nefesh, the inner peace, to do what we need to do, and to get there in Mitzvah Hashem. I'll see you next week. Enjoy and have a good night.